Hey everyone, today's video is super different than what I've made so far, and it's all about a Dwarven excavation site. So this is definitely something pretty cool and a unique build, so stay tuned and let's move into the time lapse. So like I said before, there's a good bit of lore, so let's explore that and dive straight on into it. So the history goes, there are historians from the College of Aeslung that discovered this site almost 2 decades ago through sheer luck. There was a group of woodsmen who were clearing the land for a large order of timber who stumbled across a very particular tree encased in stone. This tree was smaller than most of the surrounding pines and oaks, but it immediately attracted the men by its off colors of dull silver with veins of black. Instinctively, the woodsmen took their axes to its trunk above the stones, but to no avail. They spent an entire afternoon taking turns with all their might, and not even the sharpest of blades were able to nick the bark. Upon further inspection, they realized that the tree was carved from the same stone that surrounded its base. Taken aback from the craftsmanship and details, they hurried to Aeslung to consult their superior, who had contacts with the college, and by the next day, a small group of archaeologists had made their way to the mysterious site. Slowly but surely, they discovered that by chipping away at the stone, there was far more to be discovered. With haste, they gathered funds and more personnel from the college and began excavating what would become the first Dwarven ruin uncovered on the continent of Yurn. After many months of methodical work, they began to notice shimmering blocks below the stone sediments of the surrounding area, and they quickly realized that there was indeed a roof made of an unknown material. Now, to this day, this material has yet to be classified, as it is impervious to any tools that they have brought since, and has only crumbled in small segments over time. Over the next 2 decades, the archaeologists were able to uncover a massive rotunda, which at its center houses another mysterious and ominous design. They discovered a blackened structure with branches that reached to the north, south, east, and west of the rotunda. Aside from its sinister design, there is a constant low thrumming emanating from its center where a persistent light is perched. Many of the scholars and workers reported that over time, they began to have odd dreams and hallucinations that would take them from this world to another, a world full of fire and flying demons, of constant agony and despair. Some of these victims took their own lives for fear of being subjugated to a place like that, while others were hardly affected at all. This mystery has yet to be uncovered, but for now, new visitors must wear thick cotton in their ears to avoid the sounds that drove others mad. Alright, so that's just a little bit of history about it, and I hope you enjoyed that. Now, of course, if you're still liking the content and everything, I gotta say it, please feel free to subscribe, like the channel, comment on what you'd like to see below. I want these Dwarven ruins kind of scattered all along the continent and all along the world. So if you have some really cool ideas about some lore or maybe some design choices that you want, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments. It would be of great help so I can really kind of expand on this idea and make it worthwhile. But that's pretty much the basics of it. Let's just get on to the walkthrough so I can show y'all the first person view, and we'll get on with that. Alright everybody, so here we have the entrance, and I just wanted to give you a quick little overview of how this looks. So I decided to make this in a cylindrical shape. I think the area dug out and excavated definitely matches the Dwarven ruin in itself, and I definitely got a lot of inspiration from Sarthal from Skyrim on this one. Definitely looked up a few reference images, wanted to make sure that it all came through, and I think this did. Now, like I said, this is a lot different than any other build I've ever done, so I'm pretty excited about this. I'm really excited to show you guys. So right off the bat, of course, you know, we have all this, detailing here. We have multiple little balconies and stuff like that that people and the scholars and stuff like that can come look at, so you can get an overall view of it before you head down. Now the path is literally all the way down here, and as you can see, it is indeed a little bit of a walk here. But once again, you can see I added a few details here. We have the wood that has been set into the ground as a little bit of a barrier for nobody like just falling in and hurting themselves. We have pickaxes, we have materials, we have barrels full of dirt and things like that they've been working on hauling all the way back up. And then we're just going to keep going down this way. So once again, you can catch a little bit of a glimpse, and this is going to be really cool. It might still be a little darker, but I try to add some extra lighting in here to really make it go through the right way. So once you get down to the base, you can see these major columns here, the larger supporting ones, and this is where this structure reaches out. So you can see it goes, over there, it goes over there, and so on and so forth. But when you get down here to the bottom, you can really see all the details. We have lots of limestone rocks from the excavation, but we also have some obsidian rocks where, this has broken apart over time. Now, how long this has been here, it's not known. The Dwarven history on this realm is barely being touched, and I'll probably get into more detail about that over time, but that's just how it is at the moment. So like I said, here we have just some small study areas. Obviously, this is where they would get down here and try to get as close as they can to it. And then I also added some details like this still being, needing to be excavated and work still needing to be done here. We have some ladders, we have some tools, brushes, brooms, stuff like that to just really try to carve out as much of this as possible without damaging it. But just look at these pillars and everything. Like, I think this is a really cool design. I think it definitely fits that Dwarven type of architecture and mindset. So this is kind of like my first dive into this type of architecture and the Dwarven style. So if you have any ideas, definitely let me know. I would be glad to hear them. And obviously there'll be more ruins throughout the world, so it can only get better from here. But once again, we have some of these rocks, we have some of this area that has fallen in, and just like I said, lots of detail here. And when you look at the view, we actually have these lights that were put here by the dwarves, and you could tell some of them have broken off, some of them are still hanging, they just had to be relit. But yeah, so like this is the bottom. Like I said, we have barrels, we have some ores that they were able to mine out, make a little bit of extra money while doing the excavation. And like I said, these large pillars here I think just look so cool and so fascinating at the end of the day. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you can see here it's a beautiful cylindrical area. I think it really came out well. Like I said, from my first try, I think it's pretty cool. And this is that light that was talking about that just stays lit all the time. And you can see here that these branches go outward, they go all the way down, but then they also go back up towards a center peak. So definitely a lot to explore here. If you have any ideas or suggestions about what you think this lore should be like and how you think it'll play out, definitely feel free to let me know. I think there's definitely some good ideas from the community that we could add into this, but this is the build in its entirety. So that's pretty much that. And look, we'll even go down here just to get another view. And there we go. So it's actually pretty massive area that we mined out here. And then of course I added some additional details with like the stone and tried to smooth them out and everything like that. But that's pretty much that. So thank you so much for tuning in on the video. I really appreciate it. This was a really fun build. It was definitely, a pretty cool idea, and I think I really enjoyed it. So hope you guys did too. If you have any suggestions, like I said, hit me up in the comments below. I'll be happy to take that into account and work on it. But this is, of course, the Legendary Porpoise signing off for another video. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and happy gaming.